The review of the performance of the NRM Party Manifesto 2011 to 2016 by the party's political organ, the NRM Parliamentary Caucus, kicked off with bitter submissions from members questioning the party leadership on a number of issues that they have failed to fulfill. Top on agenda was the slow pace in which the ruling party has handled the electoral reform question, which is feared to cause chaos in the run-up to the 2016 presidential polls.
We feel that this time, let us move away from here when we are aware of the roadmap.
But I said we're also going to discuss it as a caucus to make our input, because we're also participants and we're also leaders in this retreat.
The Law Reform Commission has already more or less completed its compilation, and we have agreed with the Attorney General that a combination of the Cabinet Committee report on constitutional amendments and also the report compiled by the Law Reform Commission will be submitted to Cabinet.
In spite of the final compilation of the proposed reforms to Cabinet by the Uganda Law Reform Commission, distinguished scholar and legal brain of the party, Professor Kitu Makubuya, appealed to the party to first differentiate between reforms on the ordinary electoral laws and reforms requiring the amendments of the Constitution, or else the proposed amendments may not be applicable to the 2016 presidential polls.
Time has run out on many of these proposals because in one court case, the court ruled that yes, you can make these proposals, but they cannot apply to the immediate coming election. They will apply to subsequent elections.
The loan absorption capacity of the country was another worrying factor at the opening of the caucus. Uganda's foreign debt burden apparently stands at 21 trillion shillings, an equivalent of Uganda's national budget for 2 years. Whereas Uganda may have the lowest absorption capacity, the State Minister for Microfinance and Investment, Matia Kasaija, cautioned the caucus of the likely consequences of the low absorption capacity to the country.
If we do not quickly move on some of these loans, there could be even threatening of cancelling these loans.
However, the proposed creation of new districts arising from the unfulfilled presidential pledges was another bone of contention here.
If we want to create these districts, we create them as was pledged. We must not create districts at the expense of others, because this will also be a political boomerang. And if we put a moratorium, then let it apply across the board. We wouldn't want it to appear like some people talked about these districts more than others.
Whether big or small, this issue must come to an end, please. Whether presidential pledge or not, we have to discuss this issue as a caucus and conclude it.
The question of the expelled NRM rebel MPs from the party also was another matter that took center stage at the opening of the caucus. Here, members demanded for an explanation from the party leadership as to why it has not explained to the electorate whether the expelled rebel MPs are still members of the NRM or not.
They demand and request humbly that if somebody from the Secretariat could go there, an issue is Rwemiyaga constituency. Because the colleague goes there and says he's still an NRM, he challenges NRM activities, and nobody has explained.
Other issues included the building pressure on NRM flag bearers by their political rivals in the constituency and the Bujuri by-election. The Electoral Commission has set 19th March for the Bujuri District LC5 chairperson by-election. The seat fell vacant after the district chairperson Marijani Azalwa was found guilty of assaulting his political opponent David Mulengani during the campaigns of 2011.